guys, welcome to Hell with Erin. That's H-E-L, 1L, because it can be worse. Also H-E-L, because it's my health expedition log, and I think I'm funny. For those of you watching who don't know me, I am Erin. In my first two videos, there was a part 1 and a part 2. Part 1, I shared with you a little bit of my history with my health, and then in part 2, I got into all of the hospital stuff. So basically what has been going on for the past 3 months. In this video, what I plan on talking about is just my post-hospital experience, what I've been going through, kind of what my plan for the future is. Also, if I have a little bit of time, I plan on doing a little segment that I guess I'm going to call it Feelings Corner, because I can't think of anything better. I wanted to say something about like it's a space for like raw emotions and whatnot, and I kept thinking, okay, like maybe like raw dogging something, but then I was like, wow, there's something there. So I started this YouTube channel for a few different reasons, one of which is that I needed an outlet to be able to field questions from my friends and family and loved ones. I get asked a lot how I'm doing. I get asked a lot of like what's been going on, and where I truly love and appreciate all the caring that's happening, it can be a little bit overwhelming having to repeat myself so much, and I thought this would be an easier way. Also, I started this channel because I really like attention, and any excuse to create something, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take that chance. So speaking of creating, now is the time where I plug my podcast. Me and my friend Jen host a spooky podcast. We will be doing it year round. I know that spooky season is over, but in my heart, it's forever. Okay, so where to get started today? First things first, I'm not feeling my best today. I'm really tired. I've had a rough night, morning. Who am I kidding? I've had a rough few months. But this is not one of my good days, but I thought I need to go ahead and start recording before I forget everything that has been going on, because I am 3 weeks, 4 weeks, several weeks post-hospital. I got out of the hospital on October 11th, and it is the 7th today. So it's almost been a full month. My brain doesn't work very well. So in my previous video, I did mention that I had had an MRI of my brain prior to going to the hospital for the first time. I'm saying first time, and what I mean by first time is the first time I was admitted to the hospital, not my first ER visit. It was technically my second one. I'm referring to that as the first time to the hospital because to me, that was really when the ball started rolling. So, Jesus Christ, Erin, you can't breathe. The first MRI I got was prior to going to the hospital. I paid for it by myself out of pocket because there was issues with scheduling and getting the order sent in from the doctor and all kinds of issues, which the healthcare system is broken, but that's not what we're here to talk about. I ended up paying for that out of pocket, and I didn't get the test results until I got out of the hospital the first time. Those test results said that I believe they said 2 lesions on my brain, or 2 potential lesions on my brain. That freaked me out because I didn't hear anything about that when I was at UCLA, and they did another brain scan there. So I have since gotten that report sent to my doctors at UCLA so they can review, compare, and have a better understanding of what's going on up here. That's just one more piece to the puzzle that is not a fun puzzle. I normally really like puzzles, but this is not a fun puzzle. There may be a couple of other things that I forgot to share in my last video about my hospital stay and my experience there. There was a lot. I was there for 8 days. So after 8 days of being in the hospital, a lot of things happen. And when you're not feeling your best, your memory may not be the best either. So I do believe there are probably things that I left out, but if you have any questions, please put them in the comments and I will get to them probably in my next video. On October 11th, I got out of the hospital. I got to see my little baby Bones for the first time in 8 days, and I felt so bad. He was very well taken care of. He went from Allison and Armand's house over to my friend Kelly's house, and he has the best time over there. He had a lot of fun, but I still felt bad abandoning him, and I was so thankful to be reunited with my baby. This is us. First time we were reunited. Look at how happy he is. That's pure joy. So after I got home from the hospital, I was not super mobile. The first time I went to the hospital and came home, I refused to use a cane because I am pig-headed, hard-headed, stubborn. Feel like I'm too young to be using a cane. But after hospital visit number 2, Erin got her shit together and realized, hey, you're freaking sick. You got to take care of yourself. So for safety purposes, I didn't want to fall. I didn't want to cause any more issues. So I have been using a cane since. This is my most favorite of canes that I've gotten. It's like a pool cue. Makes me feel cool and fancy. And I like feeling cool and fancy. So I've been walking around with a cane, and my first week back from the hospital, my mom flew into town to help out around the house and help us take care of me, really. My husband was also home from work so that he could help take care of me as well. It's kind of a big chore to take care of me. High maintenance? No, I'm not. But there's a lot, we got to take care of the dog, got to take care of the house. I'm not moving around very well, and I have very low energy. So if I do a little bit of activity, then I'm like immobile for the rest of the day, and every day I was getting a little bit stronger. I was trying to do some exercises. I had follow-up doctor's visits. I had a follow-up from the hospital. And then I established care with a primary doctor, which, if you watched the last video, that's what I was trying to do before I got admitted to the hospital for the second time anyway. So finally, I got a primary care doctor. She's fantastic. I love her. I have good feelings about that. With those doctor's visits, I did get some more blood work done. My vitamin D levels are still very, very low despite taking vitamin D daily. So they upped me a larger vitamin D prescription due to it being so low. So after my mom left, she left on the 19th. So she was here for about a week. I was doing pretty well when she left. I was getting around okay. I was still using my cane, but I was much faster. I was able to get around on my own. I could take care of myself a little bit better. After she left, I decided, I want to have fun. Like, I need something fun in my life. I haven't felt like myself in a long time. Obviously, spending a week at the hospital felt more like spending a month at the hospital. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, you go into the hospital and it's like you're in a time warp, and all the time that you've spent there feels like at least twice as long as what normal time feels. So 8 days felt like at least 16 days. I really wanted to get back to a sense of normal, at least as much as I could. So I focused on recording my podcast. That went well. Recording day went really smooth. I had so much fun. It was so nice to be back in the studio. Then that next day, we went and saw a play. And then we went out for dinner afterwards with the friends that we went and saw the play with. And I'm not going to mention what play it was or where it was, but I will just say that, it was not a great play if you go out to dinner with the people who you watched it with afterwards and not even one word was muttered about said play that you just watched. So yeah, but it was fun. It was fun. I was out of the house. I was out of the hospital. I was excited to be moving around. I was using my cane, but there was still a lot more walking than I anticipated. And after that, things got a little bit more rough. The days to follow, my breathing got a little different. Like that, I was breathing deeply a lot more, feeling like I wasn't able to catch my breath as often. Small amounts of energy used throughout the day would wear me down. I was having a lot of muscle spasms where like you could visibly see. I think I even took a video. And if I did, put it right here, Erin. And if you can see the video, like the muscles in my arm were just constantly twitching. And that lasted for, I don't know, a couple hours maybe. And then another part of my body would start twitching and I would just have these constant muscle spasms in different spots. Sometimes the muscle spasms would get so severe they would hurt, which was not fun. Because of all of these things that I was feeling all at once, I was starting to get concerned that I was backsliding. I had felt so much better when I had left the hospital in that first week at home, and then things started kind of going downhill a little bit. But I was determined to have fun and get better, and I thought, okay, so if you feel more like yourself, you're going to keep getting better. If you do a little bit more every day, you're going to start getting better. If you just do a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there, then you're going to get stronger. Just like working out, you do one set of, I don't know, what's a workout? Here we go. Let's put it in terms of something that I'm familiar with. Just like when I ride my bike, you start out going a mile and feeling pretty good about that mile, but you're a little worn down. Then as you go, you extend to like 1.5 miles or 2 miles. And before you know it, you're riding for 4 miles, no problem, and you feel great. So it's that progression, right? So I figured that's how this will work too. I will get more energy as I go. So every day I do a little bit more and I'll be fine. That theory doesn't work. At least it didn't work for me that at this time. Maybe that's something that can work in the future, but right now my body is not healthy. And that's something that is really hard for me to understand because like in my brain, I still feel like me. I read this comment on Reddit once, and I don't remember what the post was even about, and I'm gonna butcher the comment anyway, but it was this guy who is in his 40s and how he was talking about how it's always so weird for him realizing that he's in his 40s because in his head, he's still in his 20s. Like he still feels young and vibrant in his head, but then like his body is not. And that is exactly how I feel right now. Like in my head, I still feel like me. I'm still goofy. I'm still fun. I still want to experience life in its fullness. And I still feel like I can get up and go ride my bike, that I can walk around without a cane, that I can just live my normal life But at this moment, I'm not able to do those things. I'm not saying that I'll never get there. That's the goal. But right now, I can't. And that, I think, is affecting my healing because it's like I'm in a constant battle with myself. I think I can do something, so then I try to do something, and then I regret it. Which brings me to my Halloween party. I love Halloween. I really wanted some fun in my life. I just wanted a small Halloween gathering. We had 4 people over. It was so great to see friends. That day was a great day. I felt amazing in comparison to how I had been feeling. So I was feeling good. I was moving around good. I had friends over. And here's the thing about me. Like, I feed off of the energy of other people. Like, kind of like an energy vampire, but I don't want to say I'm an energy vampire because I don't feel like I suck the energy out of other people. I like to think that I fill other people with joy. When I'm hanging out with friends, I feel better. I get like this rush of endorphins or dopamine or whatever the drug is that's released in your brain that makes you very excited. Maybe both of those things. I don't really know, but I was feeling so good. My energy levels were fantastic. I was moving around well. I used my cane, but I didn't really need my cane, or at least in my head, I thought I didn't need my cane. That's where that disconnect really has a negative effect on my life because I thought I was doing well and I felt really good. And then we played charades. It was such a fun game of charades. I had an absolute blast. I think that everybody had a lot of fun. You know, when we went to bed that night, I was still feeling like on top of the world. I was so happy. I was so happy. I got to celebrate Halloween. I got to see some of my best friends. I had a great time. But then the next day came. When I woke up the next day, I couldn't move. And that sounds super dramatic. But in all honesty, it was super dramatic. I had such severe nerve pain that moving my body in any way hurt so bad. I cried a lot. My husband helped me from the bed to the pull-out couch bed in the living room because sitting was not an option. Laying down was what was going to work for me. So I was pretty much immobile all day. The only time that I ever got up was to go to the bathroom, which was incredibly difficult. Couldn't have been done without the help of my husband. I was so severely in pain. My joints hurt so bad. Let me see if I can describe what I mean by nerve pain. So randomly on my body, in many different areas, particularly this time for me, my wrists, and no, you know what? It was everywhere. It was everywhere, but my wrists were particularly bad, and they have been bad since. It's like a really sharp, stinging feeling, almost like electrical shock, like extreme electrical shock in shooting in different areas all over your body. So just laying there, I was in a lot of pain. And anytime I moved, that made it worse. Plus, my joints were super painful, so moving really hurt them as well. So it was like a double whammy. And the weakness. I was so physically weak, which I believe was due to exhaustion from the pain. My legs weren't working very well, and I couldn't really do much. I couldn't do much with my hands either, mostly because my wrists were so bad. My fingers were even experiencing a lot of pain. It was just literally head to toe pain. Or what did I say last time? Toes to nose. I mean, it was excruciating. And that was scary because the last thing I wanted to do was go back to the hospital. So I was hoping, and my husband was also hoping, that it was just a sign that I overdid it at the Halloween party the night before. Now, whether or not that is the case, I don't know. It's a very great hypothesis. So, oh, look at me coming in with a hypothesis. I'm a scientist. So the next day, I was still experiencing some nerve pain. I was a little bit better, just very slightly better. But every day after that, I started to see a little bit of progress, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. The more I rested, the better I was. Now, here's the problem with resting. First of all, when you're in so much pain, it's hard to get good sleep anyway. Second of all, like, I am not good at napping. I used to be really good at it. I don't know what has happened. Maybe it's FOMO. I'm like, I can't fall asleep because what if I miss out on something? But that's silly because, like, it's just me and Mr. Bones hanging out, like, on the bed. Like, what am I gonna miss out on? Maybe he does something super cute. I don't know. I'm not great at napping. But on the days that I did nap, I did notice a little bit of a second wave. The trend that I started experiencing after that was by 3 or 4 in the afternoon, I would be so worn down that I was done moving for the day. I was done doing pretty much everything for the day. I would be super tired. My breathing would get a little bit worse, and it was uncomfortable. So my husband shared an analogy with me that he had heard from a friend who also has other friends with MS. And it's kind of a strange analogy, and I'm probably not even going to get it right. When you have MS, you start your day with so many spoons. Like, you have, let's just say you have 6 spoons. And every time you do something physical that day, it could even be talking, having a phone call, whatever. Everybody's something is different. Does that make sense? Everybody's thing that exhausts them is different. So for me at this time, having a conversation would really wear me down. It would put a lot of strain on my diaphragm and make my breathing more difficult. Also, walking was not going well. Any little physical thing. So you have this thing of spoons. So every time you do something, you give away a spoon. So you lose a spoon. So getting up and going to the bathroom, -1 spoon. Talking on the phone, minus another spoon. Getting a glass of water, take another spoon. So you have so many spoons for the day. And whenever you do these physical activities, you lose a spoon. But then when you run out of spoons, that means you're out of energy. So you have no more spoons to give. It's kind of like strange analogy. I don't know why spoons, but that when he told me that kind of made sense to me. So our goal at that point was we need to figure out how many spoons I start the day with. We need to find my spoon limit, if you will. That has been a challenge. That has been the biggest challenge. Figuring out my limits. What are my limits at this moment until I can get treatment, until I can get in to see the neurologist, which, by the way, they had me down in March. to see the neurologist, which I say that's too far. And all of the doctors that I've seen since the hospital also said that's too far. So they've pulled some strings for me. They have advocated for me, and I am now getting to see a neurologist on the 21st of this month. Hopefully then I get a better plan of action, because that's what I need, is a plan of action. I do start physical therapy this week, which I'm very excited about. I would love to be able to go for a bike ride again. I know that's not going to happen right away. I can barely get around the house, but I can't even walk my dog. I feel like a terrible dog mom. I'll get there. Finding my limits has been difficult, obviously, given what happened after the Halloween gathering. I'm getting a little bit stronger now, but I am also experiencing new issues because I don't get to have a break, apparently. I recently started experiencing elevated heart rate again that has been paired with hot and cold sensitivity. Now, I don't know if that's the proper way to describe that. Again, I'm really bad at describing things. So basically what happens is my heart rate jumps up normally about 115 and I get like really shaky. After that happens, I either get really hot or I get really cold. Now, my temperature remains normal, like in the 98% range. Wait, is it percent? Are temperatures percentages? There's a decimal point. No, it's degrees. It's degrees, not percent, Erin. Oh my God. Blame it on the MS. Gotta blame it on your MS. So my body temperature stays the same, but I either get so cold that I start uncontrollably shaking and teeth chattering and I feel cold and I need to be warmed up. And then once I get warmed up, I'm feeling a lot better. Or the opposite, where I get so hot that I can't stand anything. I break out in a rash. I'm just beet red and I need to be cooled down as quickly as possible, or else I feel like I'm just gonna melt. That is new for me. I have experienced some of the chattering, the coldness over the past several months, but the combo of the elevated heart rate, the shaking, and then the temperature control issues, that's all new as a cluster. I never know when these things are going to happen. So I just kind of take them as they come and I'll figure them out as I go. So something that I get asked a lot is, how is Jeff doing? How is my husband doing? How is he handling all of this? And that's a question that I don't feel like is very fair for me to answer, because I am not him. As much as we are very empathetic towards each other, we've been kind of trying to stay in our own lane with our feelings in that way. I have a lot to process on my own. I have a lot going on for myself. I don't even know how I am doing. Mentally, emotionally, no, let me say this. I'm not doing well. I haven't processed this very well. Honestly, these videos are helping me process. For a long time, before I started doing these videos, I don't think that I fully believed that I was sick. I don't think that right now I fully believe that I am sick. It's not that I don't believe my experience. I know that what I'm experiencing is real, but I'm in denial. I don't want to believe that that's happening, and I don't know how my husband is handling this. I hope he's handling it well. When I ask him, he says that he's okay. He's stressed, but he's okay. And to which I say, same. We've been handling it well together, Our relationship has stayed very strong. Like we're very supportive of each other, and that's going well. But the individual aspects of it, I'm not so confident about. So, speaking of feelings, this is the segment I'm going to be referring to as the feelings corner until I come up with a better name and figure out how to work raw dogging in there. So this segment is not meant to offend or hurt people. I believe that sharing true, honest feelings with the people that you love, and apparently the people on the internet, so that they can have a better understanding of you as an individual, is healthy. This is how my husband and I have been throughout our entire relationship, and it has made our communication skills like off the charts incredible. Off the charts. I'm a doctor, and I think that we're doing a bang-up job communicating. Oh my God, what is wrong with me? Talk like a normal person. So my intent is not to force people to think or feel the same way that I do. This segment is not about making people change the way that they think or feel or react. Everybody is entitled to do that in whatever way they need to do that. But I am also entitled to my own emotions and my own feelings, and talking them out helps. So saying these things out loud, I have found has been very helpful for me. During this time, I will be raw dogging my emotions. I am going to tell you exactly how things make me feel. And are they always rational? No. They're not always rational. Feelings aren't always rational, and that's okay. They still exist. That doesn't mean that they're not there. So, without further ado, let's get into some of these things. I have written some things down that has bothered me. And again, I really hope that I don't offend people, because that's not what this is about. This is a safe space. And this is apparently the movement of a safe space. So stupid. So, one of the biggest issues that I have had over the past few months of processing emotionally is the pressure of getting better. When anybody says any of the following things, I feel pressure. Let's start with the first thing. If somebody says, I don't trust doctors, or fuck the doctors, or why aren't they doing anymore, and they can't get you in until when, or anything along those lines, any kind of anger being expressed towards doctors. When people say these things to me directly, it makes me feel this immense pressure to be better, to get better, to feel better. Like, there's a lot of blame being put on doctors, but at the end of the day, it's my body that's acting up. Like, these doctors don't own me. You know, I am not a toy of theirs. Yes, it is their job to help people, but that doesn't mean that my health is solely their responsibility. That's on me as well. And I feel this pressure to feel better so that people don't feel anger towards these doctors. Also, I have expressed in a previous video that I'm not a selfish person when it comes to my health. I understand that there are a lot of other people out there who aren't healthy. So if there's a doctor that is not available to see me in the amount of time that I need to be seen, I'm not blaming those doctors for that. Nor to me does blaming those doctors make me feel better. Actually makes me feel worse, because at the end of the day, no matter when they can get me in, I'm still going to rely on them to get me in and help me. So I can't feel that kind of hostility towards the people who are actually helping me. And as far as like not trusting doctors go, anybody can feel that way. That's fine. And I have mixed feelings about it, obviously. I've had some bad experiences. I've also had some really good experiences. And right now, my diagnosis and my symptoms are way out of my realm of expertise. I don't even have a realm of expertise that even remotely comes close to these things. So I have to rely on doctors. I have to trust them. I have to believe what they're saying is true, because if I don't believe what they're saying, then I don't know what to believe. I don't know what my plan of action is. I don't know a way forward. I can't see through the fog without the guiding light of the doctors. So that doesn't help me to constantly hear people tell me that doctors can't be trusted and they don't know anything, and the American healthcare system is broken. Of course it's broken. I'm well aware of that, but it does not help me to dwell on that. So, number 2, I am frequently asked how I am doing. And here's the thing. When people reach out to you through text message or just in passing, like if they see you and they ask, "Oh, how are you doing?" That is a small talk line. That is what people say as small talk because they don't really care and they just feel the need to say that. Now, when I'm being asked this, it does feel like obviously these people actually care. They want information, they want to know, which is why I am making these videos. But I'm not always sure that people are expecting the answer that they get, because I am going to answer honestly with you. I am at the point in my life, my pain, my health expedition, if you will, that I cannot lie anymore. I can't just suck it up and say, "Oh, I'm good," or "Oh, I'm doing better, I'm fine." I'm going to be honest with you. You ask me how I'm doing and I'm having a rough day, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to say, I'm having a hard time. Today is really rough. And if you don't want to hear me say all these negative things out loud, don't ask me, because I'm going to be negative right now, because that's how my body physically feels. Like, I can't lie and say, "Oh, I'm doing good. How are you?" Because I don't feel like that is beneficial. And if that's what people are fishing for, don't fish here. This pond is off limits. Don't come at me with small talk if you don't want to have real talk, because I'm going to real talk you. The disappointment or frustration or sympathy from people about it makes me feel that pressure to feel better and like I'm doing something wrong. And I know that that's not fair. People are checking in on me. But when people check in on me and I'm not doing better than I was the last time they checked in on me, it makes me feel like I am failing in some way. "Oh, I'm sorry that you're frustrated that I'm not doing better." Like, you know who's more frustrated? Me. I am. I'm more frustrated because I want to feel better, but I'm not feeling better right now. And you asking me every day is making me feel like shit. So I'm sorry. That's just how it makes me feel. I'm not saying you can't ask. I'm not saying you can't care. But at least now I'm making these videos so that you can hear how I'm doing. And hopefully these videos help with that a lot. Then, on that same note, and this is unfair, this is one of those instances where me feeling this way it's not rational, but it's a feeling that I have and I can't help it. When people do ask how I'm doing, and I have let people know, "Oh, I'm doing a little better today. I'm able to walk around," or, "My breathing is feeling a little bit better," because I've tried to kind of focus on the positives and give people those little nuggets of positivity. And then I am hit with the, "Oh, I'm so happy you're feeling better. Oh, this is great. I'm so glad that you're better. That's wonderful. Oh, I'm so happy." It's not fair of me to be upset about somebody saying that they're happy that I'm feeling better. But in my mind, I feel like I am being dismissed. Like, "Oh, so you're having a good day today? Great! Now I don't have to worry about you ever again, and I'm glad that you're past this, and I know that you've been through hell, but I'm glad that you're on the other side of it. When in reality, I am smack dab in the middle of it, and it makes me feel like I'm being dismissed, and that's unfair to other people, that I feel that way, but it's unfair to me that I feel that way too. I can't help but feel that way. I should be celebrating the little victories, but I feel like in such a very short conversation, people don't understand that these little victories are just little victories, and they can be fleeting. You know, one day I can have fantastic breathing, like my Halloween party, for example. I had zero issues breathing. My breath was great, and I was talking, and I was having a good time, and I was being physical. I played fucking charades. But now here I am, you know, saying, oh, that's great. I could breathe wonderful that day, and I felt so good. But I literally told you that the following day I couldn't even move. So they can be very fleeting moments of feeling good. And when I hear people say, oh, yay, that's so exciting, I feel like it discourages me. And that is just a me thing. That's just a me thing. And I'm saying it here because this is Feelings Corner, and you're allowed to feel any sort of way about anything. You're entitled to your emotions, and these are mine, and these are what they are. You don't need to do anything with it. I just feel better letting you know. So with that, I have felt like I have spent most of this time bitching, and that makes me feel bad. Feelings Corner, where I feel bad. I don't want to end this video on a negative note, so I guess I will try to find something positive. Let's see. Something positive that I'm going to focus on is that I am seeing a neurologist sooner than later, and I am hopeful that I am going to have a good plan of action on this health expedition, and I can share some positive things later this month on my health expedition log in Hell with Erin. But remember, it's only Hell with one L because it could be worse. I did a tarot card reading on myself yesterday, and it was all about my health. It was a daily reading, just a 3-card spread. It showed me that I'm doing the right thing, that I'm on the right path. That sharing my experience with you guys and discussing my feelings about everything with you guys is the right thing to do. This is where I need to be. And I do need to be able to set boundaries with people, but I also need to remember to let people in and to let people help me along in the journey. So with that, that's all I have today. And if you've made it this far, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for your support. It means a lot to me. I know that I can't get through this all alone. I do need a good support system, and I consider all of you my support system. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put a comment on this video. I'm not going to respond to it. Just like I said before, it's not that I don't care. I just can't field a bunch of questions. That's what these videos are for. I do plan on addressing questions in future videos that are put in the comments or messaged to me privately. So please feel free to ask any questions, or if you want to hear a little bit more about a specific experience, ask me. Worst case scenario, I say no. But if you've been watching these videos, you should probably know by now I'm an open book, so I'm likely to share whatever. Hopefully I'll have some good updates for you soon. Thanks.